Born with cleft palates and highly prominent birthmarks. That sort of surgery can have a huge impact on young lives, which is why two of the country's leading plastic surgeons are finding faster and more effective ways to treat such children. They've set up a national research institute at Hutt Hospital and they're trying to raise $10 million for their work. Richard Langston with the story.
Swee is a plastic surgeon who's transformed the life of Amy Cornish. He removed her strawberry birthmark.
Everyone knew me not because I was popular, but because I was the girl with the birthmark.
The Wellington student had to live with it for more than a decade.
True. It had quite an impact on just everyday life because wherever I went, wherever my parents took me, I would be asked, what was that thing on my forehead? So it was right there in everyone's face, and they wanted to know like what I'd done to myself, if it hurt, if they could touch it.
She was a very shy 11-year-old girl who would not look into your eyes when you ask her a question, and because she was quite affected by it.
It took 5 laser treatments and an operation before it was gone.
He's so skilled at his work, and he just wants like all children to have the best start and live to their best potential in life, and I think that's really lovely.
About 15% of people have birthmarks, and surgery's been the traditional way of removing them. But Swee and other leading plastic surgeons now believe it's time to take a new and more enlightened tack.
I think conventional surgery and the technology that goes with it has gone about as far as it realistically can. Any further advances are going to come from understanding the root causes.
Which is why Swee and his colleagues have headed into the lab. They've already discovered what causes birthmarks: stem cells.
This is very exciting, not just for the treatment of birthmark, but also for the potential application of all sorts of other things in medicine. For example, cancer.
Yes, cancer, because the stem cells that cause it are similar to those that cause birthmarks. And the more they find out about stem cells that cause birthmarks, the more they find out about those that cause cancer.
We now know that cancer consists of stem cells, a small number of cells that cell renew and produce cancer cells. They evade the immune system. And until you get rid of those cells, you ain't going to win. And this is a very exciting development in cancer treatment.
What they're learning about birthmark stem cells could not only help in the fight against cancer, but for other diseases and afflictions. For example, in the future, it could help a boy like Carlos. He was born with the left side of his face paralysed, and he couldn't smile. Swee had to operate to remedy that.
He gave Carlos a smile, which is the one thing Carlos really wanted right the way throughout everything, and that when we first went there.
Can you give us a smile, Carlos?
Yep. And hopefully it will work up and be able to smile like that. Right. Instead of just going half the way, we'll be able to go all the way. I can smile just like anyone else.
Another life transformed by surgery. But again, Swee thinks we can do better. In the future, he'd like to be able to treat cases like Carlos using stem cells and grow the parts he was missing in his cheek.
We can grow a nerve into the face that is paralysed. We'd like to be able to do it with manipulation of molecules, nerve growth factors, or whatever, rather than surgery.
But those who could benefit first from the research are those with birthmarks, and the impact of them cannot be underestimated.
It is obviously disfiguring, but can be life-threatening as well. People do die from strawberry birthmarks. People do lose sight.
Swee and his colleagues are stepping up the fight to help people like Carlos and Amy. They've set up a national research institute at Lower Hutt Hospital, where the emphasis will be on attacking the cause before it can dominate young lives.
The work that's being done and coming out of our unit at the moment is really world-class, and it's right up there and really offering hope for the future for some of these people that are affected with these terrible diseases.
Richard Langston from Hutt Hospital.